Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are doing a review of the Jurassic World Captive Rumble page. Well, I don't know if that's like the full name, there's a lot of labels on it. I think it's just a Rumble cage, or Captivz Epic Battle T-Rex Rumble cage. I have no idea what the name of this is. Anyways, this thing's on clearance, and like, I've been wanting to get this for a while, and finally now is a good chance to get it. So, yeah, it's on clearance for $4, like anywhere from $6 to $4. I think it kind of varies from store to store. I think it's more like $4 is like the main price you can kind of find it at. But definitely recommend picking this up. I haven't even opened it. Just really cool since Mattel hasn't really released cages. I think they released them in the can't remember what those sets were like what they were called, but they were like exclusive to Mexico, and also they were really small sets. They could only fit like the compy-sized figures, and they haven't released any bigger ones, which is like a shame. They released like the travel container for the Atrociraptors, but outside of that, I don't think we've really gotten any cages. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember any at least, and I think it's like really nice that we're at least getting one from like the Captivz. So yeah. Anyways, take a closer look at the box. Actually, I believe this is the first Captive figure I'm doing a review of because usually I just open the Captive figures and don't really do videos on them, but this is the actual first one I'm doing a review on, so yeah. Anyways, here's the packaging. I kind of forget that this comes with other stuff outside of just the cage, even though I bought it for pretty much just the cage. So, yeah, you can see pretty much all the stuff that comes inside of it. We're not going to look at it too much. I think the batteries might be dead on this cage. Maybe once I open it, because again, this isn't working, so maybe it might need batteries. But, yeah, if I can get batteries, if it's damaged, then can't show off the action feature, but, if it isn't damaged, then I can probably just get some new batteries for it, hopefully, for the review. But anyways, let me actually open this out of the packaging. Let me just get my X-Acto knife real fast. So, I think it's just kind of some tape up here. Hopefully. Oh, okay, there's more plastic than I thought, I think. Oh, yeah, no, this package is going to have to get damaged to be opened, which I'm actually okay with. So, you're going to have to basically peel. Oh, that's actually some really strong glue. So, hopefully, okay, I can just kind of peel the whole back off. And it actually has like a really nice T-Rex render on the back. And like Quetzalcoatlus in the background and stuff. You can kind of see at the top, like a Rexy render. But, yeah. Anyway, this plastic piece kind of falls off the back. I'll move that out of the way. Then here is the actual cage itself, which actually comes on like a big old cardboard thing, which I didn't realize that. And yeah, that leaves you with the packaging, which is pretty decent, though. I definitely say if you want to get one of these and keep it in box, it's not one of the figures you can just kind of put back in box. Unless you take extra care, you might be able to do it, but, yeah. Anyways, here's the actual cage itself, which is held in by these kind of twisty tie things, which probably can just cut them. Or maybe not. Okay, yeah, these are like the cardboard ones. Like, I mean, the ones that are kind of made out of paper, like paper twine, I guess, is what the word would be for them. So they're really easy to take off. Also, there's like kind of like a sand pattern here, so that's pretty interesting. So, yeah, this is kind of more of like not really a good formula review, but yeah, I think the batteries or something are dead on this. It says on, so maybe turn it off and then turn it back on. So again, it doesn't work, and then turn it back on. Okay, guess it just needed some motivation because now it's working. Before I open all this stuff, like for the Captive figure and such, this is just a bag of sand. I don't think there's anything in it, so I'm not going to open this. But this is for the actual Captive figure, which we'll take a closer look at in a minute. But, yeah, pretty much taking a look at the cage. First off, the mechanism that actually makes it shake are these two pegs that kind of push in and out when you put it. So that's really cool. Turning it around, you can see it's just like a cage. The bottom's like here, because that's where the mechanism and such is at. But, yeah. I did get a few Rebirth Danger Pack figures, though I'm not going to really put them in a size comparison. I'll probably size compare them with this cage in, like, the actual review for those figures, but I'll have to use some other figures till then to actually show those off cap and open the Rebirth ones. But, yeah, it kind of has an opening door. Nothing too crazy to it, which it doesn't really need to be. It's really nice that it's not. It also has this T-Rex kind of graphic, which admittedly is not my favorite. It's kind of made of like a rubbery plastic, I guess, and I think you can. Oh, it's just kind of taped on. I don't know if you're supposed to take this off or not, but I'm going to take it off. But I'll probably keep this because this is actually kind of nice. Honestly, it's basically just a free bookmark because that's kind of what this is. Really nice, though. Anyways, yeah. Here's the cage without it. I think it looks better. Really nice. I think this is just like good quality. I'm surprised Mattel has not released a cage like this yet. Even if it was one without an action feature, just in general. Also has lights and such. It's really nice figure. Well, I guess, yeah, no, this would still be a figure. Anyways, it measures in at about 7 inches long, I'd say. And in height, I'd say, Almost 5.5, though the part where the actual figures will be in. Width, by the way, is 3 3/4, but the height for the part where the figures will actually be in, it's about 3 inches, I'd say. So, yeah. Anyways, let's take a look at the actual Captivz figure. Again, the first actual like Captivz dinosaur figure that I'm actually like reviewing. Also, it's interesting that there's a little like thing to hang, as if this was supposed to go on the shelves. But yeah. Anyways, peel that open. Would have been cool if they made like mystery ones of these. That would have been crazy. Also, I believe this is my first large Captivz figure because I've not gotten any of the bigger Captivz figures. I don't buy the big eggs. But yeah, maybe I'll get one of the Rebirth ones because the Spinosaurus looks pretty cool. Anyways, there's these logos. I guess you're supposed to put them on the cage. Maybe they make like warnings that we have. Warning: T-Rex spotted in area. Caution: do not feed the dinosaurs. I might just keep these as little like signs. I probably won't put it on the cage, but they are really nice. Just kind of caution signs and just kind of a T-Rex warning there. And then we also got this, which I'm guessing you're supposed to put, if you'd like to at least, you're supposed to like put it in the cage like this, of like the end thing. Probably not going to do that, but these are some nice little accessories. Would have been cool if they were made out of like plastic, so they're a little bit more durable than cardboard, but those are going to be definitely nice to keep. Here's the actual card for it. Like, if they were made out of this material, that would be really nice. I really like that Captivz includes cards. I really like Jurassic cards, but you can kind of see the background stuff. This is also an Epic Evolution. I'm confused. This is like a collaboration with Mattel because it's still Epic Evolution logo. And actually, now I think of it, the Captivz always are kind of the same branding as the Mattel toys. So I guess that makes sense actually. But yeah, you can see the T-Rex. Though one thing that you notice is that it's actually like Rexy on all the marketing for this, but the actual T-Rex figure is obviously like Buck. So yeah. Anyways, let me just get my camera down a little bit. You can see we have the head, which looks pretty nice. I have a Captivz T-Rex figure, but it's one of the smaller ones. I don't know if this is a different sculpt. Definitely a different paint job, but it might not be a different sculpt. I have the Dominion one. Anyways, we'll take a close look at that later. Then the tail, which is, honestly, this snaps in. Okay, at least that first part definitely snapped in. Way easier than the other Captivz figures, because Captivz figures can kind of be tricky, but honestly, this one, I'd say, too, is also way easier. So yeah, this is a really nice, decent-sized T-Rex figure. Definitely smaller than like the regular like Frenzy Pack size figure that Mattel released. So yeah, here's this figure, which we'll take a closer look at. Has a really nice looking head. Again, the Captivz figures just always are amazing. I wish we got more newer like unique sculpts for Rebirth, but oh well. Still really nice ones. So yeah, again, pretty nice. Also, I'm gonna get over to the actual comparison of the other Captivz figures. I do want to mention, I did not buy like most of those on purpose. I literally was just trying to get the Dominion Lystrosaurus figure, which, by the way, I still do not have, and I got a bunch of them. So every single Dominion Captivz I have, which pretty much all my Captivz are Dominion, except for a few Jurassic Park 30th Anniversary figures. Pretty much all the Dominion ones, though, I did not want to get, but I still do enjoy the figures. They're still nice. I just really wanted the Lystrosaurus. So, yeah. Anyways, the T-Rex just falls over immediately. Probably would help if there's a peg or something. But, yeah. Anyways, kind of just falls over. Like, it has decent enough balance. I don't think I did a measurement or anything, which I'll do that when I take the T-Rex out of the packaging. But, yeah, you can press the button. Now, it seems that this might be a bit too heavy for the mechanism. Seems like... Now that's pretty interesting. That sounds as if like the motor or something is not strong enough to lift this T-Rex figure, which is not very heavy. We press it again. No, there's just something off with it. Don't know. There might be something defective with this one. That may be why it's on clearance or something. There's just, I don't know if the mechanism just doesn't work very well. Because it was working perfectly fine earlier. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this figure now. Where like the cage where it's not actually working anymore. Yeah, I don't know why it's really weak or something. Maybe something got loose or something. Maybe if I try turn it off and turn it back on again. That always works for electronics for some reason. Yeah, there's definitely something off with this. I don't know if it's just mine or if all of them are like that. We're pretty much like something happening with the rumbling action feature. Again, just something to keep in mind. Kind of a shame, but oh well. Still kind of just got this because I wanted a cage in general. Anyways, again, I forgot to mention I was doing measurements with this figure. T-Rex measures in at about 6 inches long, and in height, At the top of the head, I'd say about, I don't know, like 2 3/4 in the hip. Like maybe 2 1/4 inches tall. So, pretty decent size. Now compared to a bunch of other Captivz figures. Okay, I was originally just going to take all my Captivz figures down, but then I thought about it and just realized it'd be way easier just to put this figure up here. You can see, it's way bigger than all the other ones. And like, I'll get a few specific ones down. Like the T-Rex one probably will be like the main one. That's really the only important one, so yeah, I'll take the T-Rex down. It is the exact same sculpt, and like you can see, female and male T-Rex, way bigger. Pretty much, I went to go try and fixing it, but I thought like maybe it needed some new batteries. But turns out that's not the issue. Just one of these pegs is just not strong enough to push the other one up. So yeah, that's just the issue with this. Also, I put the batteries back in, but also probably just out of battery. Probably should have just kept the new ones in. Oh well. For some reason, just is not working. Again, I think this feature works. I haven't seen anyone else with this issue. But, yeah, honestly, I guess the feature just doesn't work on mine. But not too much of an issue. I kind of just wanted a cage in general. Now, the thing that I really wanted to test out. What figures can it fit in there? So, we're going to start with a small Mononychus, which, of course, with the neck up, too tall. But if you put the neck out like this, it can fit in there pretty easily. Though it's like it takes up pretty much all the space. This figure fits in pretty comfortably. So if you wanted like a black market with like dinosaurs and cages, you can definitely put like Mononychus in here and it fits in great. Next, we move on to level 2, which is Dachosaurus, which is shorter but I think a bit longer than the Mononychus. So yeah, Dachosaurus you can also cram in here. And you can kind of just like force the cage door closed. So, yeah, there you go. Dachosaurus just barely fits, but it does fit in there. Now on to the main level, the Velociraptor figure. This is going to be the real test. This one, it's actually too long to fit in here, but and also a bit too tall. But if you put the head down and also figure out a way to stick the tail through the back end of the cage, you can kind of shove it in here. This is the jumping raptor, so it has kind of a weird posture. So it's probably not the best raptor to use for this if you want to try to put a raptor in this cage. Probably use like the Atrociraptor or something else. But you can kind of cram it in there. Doesn't fit the waist and it's kind of like shoving in there. Wouldn't recommend putting in there long term like that, but it can fit. Next we have this guy. This is kind of one of the bigger Danger Pack figures, so that's why I decided to bring it out. I'm just gonna call him Cheese Jr. as usual. He's too tall with like him just having too long legs. He cannot fit in here without like, again, I think you can just barely kind of like shimmy him in, I guess, a little bit. If you really wanted to, I think you can probably like kind of cram him back. But even then, he just doesn't really fit. So yeah, this is a figure that does not fit in the cage, unfortunately. Now, we have the last test, Borealopelta, which is one I really was interested to see if it would fit since it is very wide. So, yeah, Borealopelta. Surprisingly, actually can fit. I was kind of not expecting it to. But yeah, it's just wide enough, and also it's a good height. Okay, wait, never mind. Wait, the tip of the beak is a little bit too long, and also its tail does not fit through the gates through the back, kind of. Though, I'm wondering if there's a position, like if you put the head all the way down, and if you tilt the figures up like this, you can get Borealopelta to fit in there. So let me see if there's any other positions you can put this figure in that is maybe perhaps a bit more natural. You can get Borealopelta to fit in here pretty much. You can, but it doesn't fit in the best. So I'll kind of count that. So yeah, this can fit Danger Pack figures in here, though just not the best. There are some other figures. Actually, there's like 2 more I actually want to try to put in here. Okay, I accidentally lied. 3 more figures I wanted to see. First thing, a human figure. You can see a human figure compared to the cages. Pretty decent size. They cannot get in there standing up, but if you sit them down or something, they fit in just fine. So, yeah. Or even if you have them squatting, they probably fit. Next, we have the Scutosaurus figure, which is pretty big. And it actually fits in perfectly. It's just short enough that it fits in. And then also in length, it's also short. So it can fit in. The Scutosaurus is basically the perfect figure, but it takes up a good amount of space. But also has the right proportions. Also, the Inostransevia figure is, at least from what I can tell, again, in the review, I'll actually check. But just looking at it, it looks like it would probably fit in here. Like, even if I hold it up to the cage, it should fit. Like, you might have to push the tail through the back a little bit, but outside of that, it should fit in there. So, yeah. Last figure I also wanted to compare it to is the Caprasuchus. See if the Caprasuchus fits in there. In which it does actually fit in very nicely. Again, the tail does have to poke through the back a bit. But like I just want to see if like you can maybe like get the action feature to work. Just barely, yeah. You can kind of push your finger in there. You can kind of make it through the action feature. So yeah, you can get Captivz to fit in this cage. Generally, yeah, it's kind of built for like the non-dinosaurs that are kind of squat down to the ground. Those figures usually fit in here the best, since they have the proportions that work the best. But like longer ones, like the Raptor and stuff, and like the larger Danger Pack figures, just don't fit in this cage very well. So if you're getting this for a purpose of getting Mattel, like putting Danger Pack figures and Strike Attack figures in here, depending on which ones you choose, that may actually be a viable option. So yeah. Anyways, so yeah, my final thoughts on this figure. First thing, it kind of depends on a few things. First thing, like if the defectiveness or like whatever the action feature not working on mine is caused by, if that is just a defect and maybe just an issue for mine, then I think that I definitely recommend it. But if not, then maybe not, because again, the feature that they're advertising doesn't work. The stuff it comes with is pretty solid, like a T-Rex figure. These honestly, Mattel should release one of these with like a Danger Pack size figure, and that would be really cool. But yeah. Anyways, again, definitely, I don't know. Maybe I give it like a 7 out of 10. Again, assuming that if you just want like a plain cage for Danger Pack figures, then I'd give it like an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. If it was just slightly bigger so I could fit basically all the Danger Pack figures, it would get so many more points. But again, it kind of varies. So yeah, definitely a cool cage, and hope Mattel releases cages in the future. Like, take inspiration from this. Basically, just take this cage, except remove the electronic part so that's a little bit deeper, and it can and maybe also lengthen it by like an inch or two, and you'll have enough room basically to put any Mattel Danger Pack / Striker Pack figure in here. So yeah, definitely pretty cool, and like for $4, again, if the mechanism is just a defect of mine, then 100% would recommend getting this for a clearance price of $4. So yeah, try checking your Walmart for this figure, and that's the only place I'm aware you can buy it. I don't think you can get this at Target, but yeah. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.